Good morning. Welcome to the November meeting of the Riverfront Design Committee. It is Thursday, November the 6th at 9 o'clock. First item is roll call, please.
Paul Dudman.
Present.
Anthony Blatt.
Here.
Kenneth Dennis.
Here.
Brian Doherty. John Joyce. Don Kasperite. Richie Splitt. And David Jost. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes of our last meeting, which was on October the 2nd, 2014. The minutes were in your packet. Anyone have any comments, changes, questions? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion. Moved by Mr. Kasperite. Second by Mr. Blatt. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 3, cases withdrawn. There are none. Item 4, continuance requests. There are none. Item 5, moving on to the consent docket. 5A, item SRCA-13-00027 at 4311 Southwest 15th Street. Lisa, is the mic working because the light's not on?
Did you do your...
Okay.
Brandon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
This is a request that was previously approved by this commission to construct a four-story hotel, and the applicant has since revised the originally approved submission to modify the proposed elevations in certain components of the site plan. Those modifications include the addition of a particular material of stucco to the facades, and I would consider minor changes to window configurations. Probably the most notable modification to this proposal is the actual entrance itself. And as you can see, if you look at the proposed elevations, the entrance will now be, I would say, perpendicular to the west elevation. It was originally going to be at an angle, but just due to changes during the design process, that's what made this a necessary modification. Staff does not have any issues with the proposed changes, and we do recommend approval by the Commission. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Anyone on the committee? I just had one. It's more of a comment, I guess, than a question. I was concerned, wanted to make sure that the landscaping and everything on the east side is in compliance, because that backs up onto the parking lot where we have where the boats unload and load, and you don't want a bunch of dumpsters and Lord knows what being the first thing you see when you get off the boat. But it looks like they have screening and planned screening and trees and things along there.
That is correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Anyone care to make a motion? So moved by Mr. Kasper. Second by Mr. Yost. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, cases for individual consideration. There are none. Item 7, other business. 7A, bylaws. As you know, in the last meetings we've had revisions to the proposed bylaws for our review, and I assume, Lisa, we should be approving these at this meeting. Would you like to comment?
Yes, the only thing I think that was more clearly revealed to staff since we brought this to you 2 months ago was earlier in 2014, or at the end of 2013, there was an ordinance amendment that went through to clarify and make minor changes to terms and conditions for all the boards. And so that went through. You guys saw it sometime in the spring, and it was effective in July of this year. And so this bylaws change makes your bylaws match the ordinance. So that's why it had been drafted a long time ago but hadn't been brought to you for approval. So this matches the ordinance language that you approved in the spring.
Comments? Questions? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Blatt. seconded by Mr. Joyce. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. 7B, election of officers. Number 1, election of chair. Comments, anyone? Motions?
I nominate Paul Dudman for chair.
Motion by Mr. Joyce, seconded by Mr. Casperett. All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain on that vote. Election of vice chair. Anyone care to make a motion?
I would nominate Tony Blatt to continue on as vice chair.
Motion by Mr. Doherty. Seconded by Mr. Yost. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll abstain.
Okay. So we have chair and vice chair. And you were saying in the email, just to clarify, Lisa, that we all have to put in our application for not re-election, but reappointment.
Yes, if everybody's technically expired as we speak, except for Richie. But everybody may continue to serve until they're replaced or reappointed. And if anybody who wants to be reappointed, please send me your completed application. You may have done this for Paula and Scotty about a year ago, but I'm collecting just all new applications to forward to the mayor's office. Yes, yeah. It's usually most helpful to attach a resume to the application.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Item 8, communications. Item 8A, administrative approval report. There are 2 items there for your information. SRCA-14-00015 at 200 Southeast 4th Street in the Regatta District. Item 2, SRCA-14-00016 at 1701 Exchange Avenue in the Stockyards District. Does anyone have any comments or questions on either of those? Moving on to item 8B, Planning Commission. There's 1 item there for your information. PC-10399 at 1204 South Youngs Boulevard in the Stockyards River District. Rezoning was approved there on October the 23rd. Item C, comments from the planning staff.
I do not have any additional comments. Thank you.
I will announce that this is Brandon's last meeting with the River Committee. He has taken a new position in Austin, Texas, where he'll be working with a private practice firm doing architecture and urban design. So it should be a good blend of his interests and experience.
Well, that's wonderful news for you and bad news for us. Sorry to see you leave, but best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much. I've had a wonderful career here with the city of Oklahoma City, working with all the staff, including Lisa, Aubrey Hammondtree, the time I got to work with Russell, and the time I also got to work with Scotty. It's just a huge opportunity and has been a critical milestone and just a keystone in my career. I am 100% sure that if I had not come here and had the opportunities that I had, this current opportunity that I have would not have happened. I have a background of architecture and found my way into planning in 2009 during the recession, and I've loved doing planning and always hoped to circle back around to architecture and fulfill that dream, and that just happened a lot sooner here than I expected. But I have really valued the time that I had to work with Lisa and work in design review, and the time that I've had briefly to work with each of you. If I had stayed here, I know I would have really enjoyed getting to know each one of you better, and I really hope that since I'll be doing architecture, which is generally the same professional community, I really hope I have the opportunity to circle back around with Oklahoma City and do some work in the future. I'll really miss this place and the people I've met. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Thank you. Item D, comments from committee members. Item E, the next meeting date will be December the 4th. Do we have anything on the agenda, Paula? Okay. I will not be here. I will be checking on the Queen. So Tony will be chairing that meeting. Otherwise, if there's nothing else, I entertain a motion for adjournment. Mr. Blatt, seconded by Mr. Yost. All those in favour? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.